Welcome back. I'm Madison Thomas with your Cronkite Sports Report from Los Angeles. I'm standing in Santa Monica at a place that was once known as the Inkwell. It was the only part of the beach where African Americans once felt safe to gather. Cronkite News reporter Liam Barrett spent a day at the beach where surfers celebrated a man who broke the color barrier in their sport.
So thank you for joining us to celebrate Nick.
Nick Gabaldon is celebrated as the first Black and Latino surfer in Los Angeles. The Santa Monica native grew up in a time when people of color could only go to a beach locals called the Inkwell. Marion Clark teaches inner city kids to surf. She says Gabaldon's story still has an effect on the community.
I think it's so important that we acknowledge the legacy of segregation in Los Angeles among the surf community, like among people of color and the waterline, and we can do something about that.
This year marks the 10th Nick Gabaldon Day. Jeff Williams says the Black Surfer Collective started the tradition because they needed a unifying figure.
There were more severe race riots between the Blacks and Latinos, and I was like, well, this is the perfect way to get the communities together around a common person that we could all identify with.
Gabaldon's story inspires many to come to the beach and feel like they belong.
Surfing is not a sport where we tend to see a lot of people of color, right? And for a long time, it felt like we didn't maybe have permission to partake in that. And so knowing that, there was somebody around in the 50s, that was surfing, it kind of gives us permission to be like, oh, this is something for us to do.
According to the latest census, more than 70% of people in Los Angeles are people of color. Yet according to surf organizations like Color the Water, the surf community is still white dominated. With these celebrations, they continue Gabaldon's legacy of diversifying the water. In Santa Monica, Liam Barrett, Cronkite News.
Surf bus director Marion Clark says Nick Gabaldon Day embodies what diversity in the sports community should look like. What started as one person looking to meet others in the LGBTQ+ community has turned into a national organization that aims to create a supportive and inclusive sports environment. I was at one of their most recent events in Los Angeles. Kickball on a Sunday afternoon. The Varsity Gay League offers game after game like this one.
What we as an organization try to keep in forefront is everyone's welcome. And when we say that, we mean it.
Founder Will Hackner saw a need in his own life to socialize with others in his community.
I myself was not meeting people. I wasn't having the best of times. I felt it was all about drinking and partying, and I was just like, I want to have fun.
Phoenix League manager Wes Scruggs grew up liking sports, but says the environment wasn't always positive for him.
Super, hyper masculinity and stuff, like toxicity, as someone who's trying to figure out their sexuality and growing up, it's like, oh gosh, okay, I guess that's not good.
Hackner was not into sports growing up.
I was a bullied kid, horribly bullied, tragically bullied, terrified of sports. I was small, so I was not a sports guy. However, as I grew up and got older, I realized that there was a lot of benefit to sports.
15 years ago, Hackner planned what became their first event.
Played capture the flag at a park. 50 people showed up, and we said, wow, there must be something here. There's a kernel of something, and that put us sort of off to the races.
The environment here is lighthearted and positive. It is obvious that everyone is just here to have a good time.
The Varsity Gay League has now grown nationally, with, they say, more than 40,000 athletes, including 400 in Phoenix. In Los Angeles, Madison Thomas, Cronkite News. The Varsity Gay League says everyone is welcome in their leagues, even if you are not part of the LGBTQ+ community. That's all for your Cronkite Sports Report from Los Angeles. Back to you.